The first time I died, I didn't even get a funeral. Just a newspaper headline. Local boy found drowned in Lake Silverwood. The second time I woke up, I was staring into the blinding morning light and into the eyes of the man who had promised to marry my brother. Evan hadn't expected to live again. Not in this body. Not in this world that had betrayed him once already. The small town of Silverwood still smelled like pine and regret, and the lake where he died looked calm, as if mocking him. The reflection in the water wasn't the broken, fragile boy he remembered. It was him, yes, but somehow stronger, older, angrier. He didn't know why fate had dragged him back, but one thing was clear. He had unfinished business. Liam Hart, the town's golden boy, the alpha every parent adored and every heart secretly desired. He had been Evan's best friend once, his confidant, his almost lover before he turned around and got engaged to Ethan, Evan's identical twin. Ethan, who was everything Evan wasn't: confident, radiant, perfect. And now, by some cruel twist of the universe, Evan was standing again on the same earth, breathing the same air, with the same heart that still beat too fast when Liam looked at him. Evan. Liam's voice broke through the cold morning air like a crack of thunder. It's really you? Evan turned. That familiar voice still had the power to undo him. It's me, he said, forcing his tone flat. Or what's left of me. Liam took a step closer, disbelief clouding his expression. I buried you. I carried your coffin, Evan. Yeah? Evan murmured, his lips twitching in a bitter smile. You did a hell of a job keeping me down there. Liam's breath caught. The wind rustled through the pine trees. Between them, the silence was thick, filled with things neither of them had dared to say before. Evan's return wasn't a miracle. It was a curse wrapped in a second chance. Silverwood hadn't changed much. Same diner at the corner, same gossiping faces, same secrets whispered behind coffee cups. But now people stared at Evan as if he were a ghost. Maybe he was. He rented a small cabin near the lake and tried to start over, painting the view he'd once died in. But every time he dipped his brush into blue, he saw Liam's eyes. Every shade of blue felt like a confession he couldn't stop making. One evening, Liam came by unannounced. Rain fell hard outside, drumming against the cabin roof. Evan opened the door, half ready to slam it shut again. Why are you here? He asked. Liam's hair was wet, his jacket soaked. Because I can't stop thinking about you, he said. I see you everywhere, Evan. In every dream, every damn heartbeat. Evan laughed bitterly. You're engaged to my brother. Remember him. I remember everything, Liam whispered. Especially the night before your accident. That stopped Evan cold. He hadn't let himself think about that night, the argument, the confession, the almost kiss under the stars before everything shattered. He looked away, his throat tightening. That night doesn't matter anymore. It matters to me, Liam said, stepping closer. It's haunted me ever since. The air between them trembled. The storm outside grew louder, matching the chaos inside Evan's chest. He could smell Liam's cologne, faint, familiar, cruel. You don't get to do this, Evan said. You don't get to come here and act like you didn't choose him. I didn't choose, Liam said hoarsely. I panicked. You disappeared. Evan. Everyone said you drowned, and you moved on. Liam's silence was an answer. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then Liam reached into his pocket and pulled out something small, a ring, dull silver, its surface scratched by time. I never gave this to Ethan, Liam said quietly. It was yours, the one I meant for you before everything went wrong. Evan's hand trembled. Stop lying. I'm not, Liam said. His eyes glistened. I loved you first. I never stopped. Evan's breath caught. The walls around his heart cracked, but he couldn't let himself believe it. Not yet, because love had killed him once. And this time he wasn't sure he'd survive it again. The next morning, fog crawled across the lake like a living thing, blurring the line between memory and reality. Evan stood by the window of his cabin, staring at the place where his body had once been found. He could almost hear the water whisper his name. A knock shattered the silence. He already knew who it was. Ethan. When Evan opened the door, his twin stood there, immaculate as always, tailored coat, perfect hair, same face but different soul. For a moment, it felt like looking into a mirror warped by bitterness and envy. "So it's true," Ethan said softly. "You're really alive." Evan gave a hollow laugh. "Depends on what you call living." Ethan stepped inside without invitation, his eyes scanning the small space. "You shouldn't have come back, Evan." "Believe me," Evan said, "it wasn't my plan." The tension between them thickened like smoke. They'd once been inseparable, two halves of one life until Liam came along. Then everything fractured. Evan crossed his arms. "Why did you come here, Ethan? To gloat? To make sure I stay dead this time?" Ethan's lips twitched. "You always thought I was the villain, didn't you? Weren't you?" Ethan's eyes flashed. "You think I wanted him? You think I ever wanted to live in your shadow? Every time he looked at me, he saw you." His voice cracked. "You were always the one, Evan. Always." The truth hit like ice water. Evan staggered back. "You knew," he whispered. "You knew he loved me." "I knew," Ethan said, his tone trembling between anger and despair. "And that's why that night," Evan froze. "What night?" "The night you died." For a heartbeat, neither moved. The only sound was the wind outside, howling through the trees. Evan's voice turned sharp. "Tell me what you did." Ethan swallowed hard. "You were drunk. Angry. You went to the lake. I followed you because I didn't trust what you'd do. You said you were going to tell Liam everything about what happened between you two, about how you still loved him. I couldn't let you ruin it. So you pushed me." The words came out flat, but they burned like acid. Ethan's hands trembled. "It wasn't supposed to happen like that. You slipped. I tried to grab you." But his voice broke. "God. Evan, I tried." The room spun. The images flooded back, the shouting, the rain, the reflection of moonlight on the water, the sound of his own body hitting the lake, the silence that followed. "You let me drown," Evan said. Tears welled in Ethan's eyes. "I panicked. By the time I called for help, it was too late. I wanted to tell Liam, but you didn't," Evan finished bitterly. "You let him grieve me, then you took my place." Ethan shook his head violently. "I didn't mean to fall for him. I needed someone to remind me I wasn't you." For the first time, Evan didn't feel anger, just exhaustion. "You can stop lying now. You didn't fall for him, Ethan. You fell for the idea of being loved like I was." Ethan's composure cracked. "You think you're so righteous, don't you? You think dying makes you a saint." "No," Evan said softly. "It just made me see what love really is. And it's not what you and Liam pretended it to be." Later that day, Evan walked back to the lake. The fog had lifted, revealing the quiet silver surface. Liam was there, standing at the end of the dock, waiting as if he'd known Evan would come. Evan joined him silently. The air between them was calm now, stripped of secrets. "I talked to Ethan," Evan said. Liam nodded slowly. "He told me too. About the accident." "I'm sorry," Evan said, voice raw. "For everything, for dying, for coming back, for making you choose between us." Liam turned to him, eyes wet but steady. "You think I ever stopped choosing you?" Evan let out a shaky laugh. "You chose the easier path." "There was no easy path," Liam said, stepping closer. "Just the one that hurt less at the time." He paused, his hand hovering between them. "But I'm done running from what I feel." The world seemed to slow. The lake shimmered like glass. Evan took a step closer. "And what do you feel, Liam?" Liam's voice dropped to a whisper. "That I lost you once, and I'm not letting it happen again." Their hands met, hesitant, trembling, real. Evan's pulse raced. The warmth of Liam's skin felt like coming home after a long winter. He could have pulled away. He could have chosen anger or guilt or fear. But he didn't. Instead, he leaned forward until their foreheads touched. The dock creaked beneath them. "I don't know what comes next," Evan murmured. Liam smiled faintly. "Then we'll find out together." That evening, as the sun dipped below the trees, Evan painted again. But this time, the lake wasn't cold or cruel. It shimmered in gold and crimson, reflecting the promise of something new. Liam sat nearby, quietly watching him, his jacket draped over Evan's shoulders. "You're painting the sunrise," Liam said. Evan shook his head. "No, I'm painting a beginning." Liam's hand brushed his. "Then let's not waste it." And for the first time since his death, Evan truly smiled. The kind that reached his eyes and softened the scars inside him. He had died once in the arms of the past. Now, he was ready to live again in the arms of the one who had learned to love him through every lifetime. The wind rippled across the water, gentle and warm. The lake kept its silence. But if you listened closely, you could almost hear it, the sound of two hearts beating in rhythm. Not haunted anymore, just finally free. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.